Welcome everyone to today's second Edmonton Oilers video call with Hockey Hall of Fame inductee, class of 2020, Kevin Lowe. Very proud to have him aboard with us. Adam Cook.
Kevin, congratulations.
Thank you, Adam.
I know much has been made about you having to wait 2 decades to hear this news, but on your phone conversation with Lanny McDonald, you said you never really felt like a Hall of Famer, which kind of struck me as strange, given all the success you had on the ice. I wonder, now that you've had time to kind of think about things, has your thinking changed?
No, it hasn't. You'd expect a response. Yeah, no, I've thought about it, and I'm definitely a Hall of Famer. Just joking there, but I've said this a number of times now. When I think of the Hall of Fame, I think of Orr and Gordie Howe and John Beliveau, Gretz Mess, those types of guys, and I just never saw myself, and I'm not comparing myself to them, but that's what the Hall of Fame means to me. I know there's other elements of what people can do to get in there, but I've listened. Don't get me wrong, I'm thrilled. I'm very proud. I've been numb for since I talked to Lanny about 24 hours ago now, and I'm really humbled by what's happened, and proud to go in another one for the Oilers, which is very cool. And listen. I'm not gonna not show up in November when the Hall of Fame induction ceremony takes place, and I'll certainly be up there with a lot of pride. But those guys are some of the greatest players in the history of the game, and I know I've achieved a lot in my career on the winning side, but apologize, my phone's ringing. But I can't say that I really ever saw myself as a Hall of Famer.
Next question, and Kevin, you'll get to try some of your La Chip French. Patrick Henry from Radio-Canada. Go ahead, Patrick.
Félicitations, Kevin. Je sais que tu es humble à propos de l'honneur, mais le fait d'avoir attendu aussi longtemps, est-ce que ça fait que tu y pensais plus vraiment et tu te disais, ça n'arrivera jamais?
Oui, je pensais de ça un peu. Je pensais qu'après une dizaine d'années, écoute, j'avais beaucoup de chance d'être sélectionné avant Yale, mais sur un autre côté, maintenant, ma famille, mes enfants, ma femme sont encore avec moi, puis je pense qu'on a beaucoup plus de plaisir avec l'annoncement hier.
Thanks, Kevin. Next question, Jason Greger. Jason, just look for your microphone. It should be unmuted. Go ahead, Jason.
Kevin, congratulations. Grant Fuhr had an interesting comment yesterday, how he felt, the Oilers were always considered the greatest offensive team, and everybody focused on their offense. And you just said you never maybe considered yourself a Hall of Famer. Is that because you think naturally we look at the offensive side and it's maybe hard to quantify defensive play? And do you think with Guy Carbonneau going in and yourself now that maybe people will try to find ways to quantify the defensive side more than they have in the past?
Yeah, it certainly looks that way with Guy going in. I'm not sure if they've changed the criteria a bit too, Jason. I don't know that, but I think that no question, I've said this before. Most people go to the games to watch lots of goals, to watch the goal scorers. They don't necessarily go to watch, people defending. We were the, we're the anti-offense, the guys that try to prevent it. But I think it was Jacques Lemaire that said, there's two nets on the ice, and both are equally important for obvious reasons. So perhaps the Hall is recognizing that. the game playing in the NHL should be for everyone is to try to win the Stanley Cup. And it's extremely hard to win one, let alone six. So I think obviously that had a big piece of it. And I think that, I'm, the words are coming out, the stories are coming out about some of the lobbying by my former teammates and colleagues and coaches and friends. And that, at the end of the day, if I didn't get in, it would have been okay, because, those are the people that, have the best memories with. But it really made me feel good to see those people go to bat for me. So, yeah, to answer your question, I'm not sure if you'll see a run of defensive players, but certainly people recognize that you can't win championships without good defense.
Before going to the next question, just a reminder to media, if you want to ask a question, use the raise hand function to be placed in the queue, and that's as part of the participants tab. Next question, Daniel Nugent-Bowman from The Athletic. Go ahead, Daniel.
Kevin, félicitations. I will spare you the rest of my French there, but sincere congratulations, and I know it was a long time coming. A similar question to the one Jason just asked. I did also have a chance to speak with Grant Fuhr yesterday, and obviously we talked about the stars on the team, right? The four forwards in the Hall of Fame, and Paul Coffey's certainly known as an offensive player from the back end. But he said you getting in really legitimized, to paraphrase, the defensive side of the Oilers game. What do you think of when you hear that, and does that resonate with you in any way, that you getting in kind of gives a little bit more credence to the defense the Oilers played in those days?
Yes. Interesting, Furzy. Of course, we spent a lot of time together, so he's there. He's got my back. But I would say, the thing about the reason why we won championships is that we were able to play a defensive game, and you don't win because you have good defensemen. You win because you've decided as a group to play a good defense. And I'm recognized as a defensive defenseman, no question. My stats correlate with that. But I was always ready to jump up and support the play, and I think that a lot of times that contributed to the opportunity for the forwards. Like I would be up in the zone and ready for a pass. Not that Wayne would ever pass it to me that often. I think he just liked the fact that it made the opposition have to worry about more players. But I think that we weren't strictly an offensive team, although we had great stats. We were a better defensive team than people gave us credit for. But that didn't matter. We were winning championships, so none of us that were on the back end. I think of Randy Gregg and Donnie Jackson and Charlie Huddy, Lee Fogelin and Craig Muni and Bookboom and Smith. I mean, Koff got a lot of the accolades, and rightfully so, because he put up a pile of points. But we had a lot of good defensemen, and but we became a good defensive team because the team as a whole decided to play good, solid defense.
Next question, back to Jason Gregor, TSN Radio. Go ahead, Jason.
Kevin, you made 7 All-Star teams. You mentioned the 6 Stanley Cups, but you also got to play in the best on best tournaments. Very different than the NHL. Can you talk about that experience for you?
Yeah, 84 was, Canada had been humiliated in 81. So there was a lot riding on our shoulders to bring the glory back to Canada. Glenn appeared to go out on a limb and take a lot of Oilers. And we're able to deliver the championship. That was it's not like winning the cup because it's such a short time frame. The cup is it's a process of an entire year, and then you got 2 months of grueling hockey in the playoffs. But having said that, I grew up watching the 72 series, and most people of our vintage, and it's special to play in the best on best. I didn't get to play in 87 and 91, both camps I was invited to, and both times I was injured. So I like to think that I've could have experienced. Certainly would have been good enough to make the 87 team. Not sure about the 91 team, but those times playing for Canada, best on best, my experiences with the Olympic team as well as those are cherished memories. I mean, the cups are on the top of the heap for sure, but feel blessed that I had an opportunity to experience, another level of hockey.
Next question, John Sexsmith, Global. Go ahead, John.
Hey, Kev, a hearty congratulations.
Thanks, John.
When you consider all you've done in and for the game, as a player, as a coach, GM, in the front office, Hockey Canada, how much more gratifying is the long Hall of Fame wait?
Yeah, what's really gratifying about it is now that my kids are all mature young adults, so it's a greater experience for them. Unfortunately, my mom passed away last summer, and she was my biggest fan besides my wife, and she was hoping to see it someday. But I'd say, Mom, listen, I don't think it's ever going to happen, but I have support of all my teammates, and really, what would you rather see? All those, which would you have rather have done? All those Stanley Cup celebrations or one Hall of Fame celebration? And she said, yeah, the cups are pretty good. But it's yeah, I didn't know what to expect, John. It was I guess I was a little bit shocked when Lanny phoned, because it had been 20 years, and I understood that. I understood I probably didn't have the stats that separated me or put me in the Hall of Fame, but for whatever reason, it worked out this time, and it's very gratifying. I'm very thrilled. I now, when I give the tour of the Hockey Hall of Fame room at Rogers Place, people have asked me before, well, how come you're not up there? And I go, I don't know. It's not for me to decide that, but now I don't have to explain that anymore.
Next question, Adam Cook. Adam, just look for your microphone. As soon as it's unmuted, you can go ahead. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, Kevin, just following up on John's question there. I mean, player, coach, general manager, executive. Was this something that was this a part of the plan for you to assume all these roles, or how did that evolve? Was that your intention of just moving up the ladder like that, or did it just was it just organic?
A little of both, Adam. I know that Glenn Sather, instilled the confidence in us to, I hate to use a phrase, think outside of the box. I mean, he didn't phrase it back then. Was like, I remember at one stage, and I was in the league for about 10 years. He said, you've got to start thinking and taking notes like a coach would, because you can have a long history in this game. So when you hear something like that from someone who's well regarded, it gives you a boost of confidence. From the time I started playing, I left Lachute, Quebec, and I went to Quebec City to try out for the Quebec Remparts, and my mom thought I'd be home and that would be the end of my hockey career. And we jokingly say I'm still trying to prove my mom wrong. But no, things just evolved. It got to a point where, like, my deal when I came back with the Oilers in 97 or 96, 96, I guess it was, I signed a 1-year deal to play and 2 years to coach. You can't sign those deals anymore. The standard players contract won't allow it, but it wasn't to be head coach, but it would be like a coach in the Oilers organization. And then that first season back went so well, it had a decent year. The team made the playoffs again, that we just extended for another year of playing. And, Glenn always knew that I'd have a position, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want to be anywhere else but Edmonton, and wanted to learn under guys like Teddy Green and Ronnie Lowe, and of course under Glenn and stuff. So, everything just evolved. And when I think back to, so I was assistant coach for a year, and then Glenn decided to make a change and became head coach, and of course brought Craig McTavish in. And then when Glenn left to go to New York, Cal Nichols came in on behalf of the EIG and said, we'd like you to consider being general manager. And I knew at the time I couldn't be both, and Mac T was, in my mind, was already head coaching material. So that was all organic, but it was, of course, never planned.
Next question, de retour à Patrick Henry, Radio-Canada. Patrick, vas-y.
So, Kevin, quand tu as été repêché en 1979, est-ce que tu pensais que 41 ans après, tu serais encore à Edmonton? Et sinon, à quel moment tu as réalisé là, que vraiment c'est ici que tu allais passer le reste de ta vie?
Non, en 1979, quand j'étais repêché par les Oilers, à 7 ans, je ne savais pas que les Oilers étaient dans la Ligue nationale. C'était la première année des Oilers. Je connaissais seulement les 6 originales équipes, des équipes comme Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. Jamais savais que les Oilers étaient une équipe dans la Ligue nationale. 41 années après, 5 Coupes Stanley, la chance de jouer, puis vivre avec peut-être les plus grandes vedettes dans l'histoire de la Ligue nationale. C'est vraiment un rêve. Puis le temps que je pensais que c'est Edmonton, c'est la place que je veux le rester pour le reste de ma vie. C'est une ville charmante. On est très bien personnes qui vivent ici. Puis même que je manque la province de Québec, souvent, j'étais très chanceux d'arriver ici en le mois d'août, je pense, ou septembre en 1979.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Merci beaucoup. La Chute will be very proud. Thanks to all the members of the media as well for joining us today. Thanks, Kevin. Enjoy your the next 2 days and returning all those phone calls, emails, and texts that I'm sure you're getting. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Stay safe.
Thanks, Andre.